YouTube, how the heck you doing? This is Corey here with Watcher of Realms. So somebody went ahead and messaged me requesting this video, and I was like, you know what? That's actually a really damn good idea. So let's go ahead and get straight to it. So I'm going to go ahead and rank the awakenings for every single lore that is currently in the game. I'm also including the unnamables just because why not, if we're being honest. I am going to go ahead and just start off with the easiest and kind of work my way up. Actually, no. I'm going to start from the top of this little list right here and then go all the way down. So Ajax, if you're going to go ahead and use, mind you, this is all for polished soulstones because we have the normal lords here, right? So if you are looking at polished soulstones, Ajax is 100% AD. I would really strongly recommend not going ahead and using a polished soulstone for Ajax. He is probably one of the best candidates overall for the unpolished, with like Kigiri, Wukong, Diao Chan, Ymrit. But overall, if you're using a polished soulstone, just don't do it, right? His A3 is really good, but if you're using a polished one to get it, it's just not worth it. Demi is going to be a B. Demi is good because she goes ahead and gives you some anti-heal, and she did get a buff, but overall compared to the rest of the lores on this list, you'll see why she's just in that like B category, because she's not doing anything significant overall with her awakenings. And then also just as a unit right now, she's relatively subpar, so there's no major benefit in going ahead and dumping a polished soulstone into her compared to what is actually available. You have Elder is going to be in that D category. Right now, when it comes to the Northerner lores, I would argue that Horus has more usability than Elder right now, genuinely speaking, because at least Horus is a tank, and he goes ahead and gives some really good shields, and his A1, which we'll get into, is pretty nice now. So overall, I will say Elder is a D because we got some really stacked lords now. Gon is also going to be in that like C category. Gon's awakenings aren't what made Gon good. Truth be told, Gon is mainly just a tank, and his main benefit is going ahead and giving you that 7, I believe it's 7 block when he is ulted. So it's nice to have him awakened, but if you're thinking about going ahead and actually using a polished soulstone on him, I just wouldn't do it. A1 Horus. Okay, this might be a controversial opinion. I actually think A1 Horus is really good. He allows you to go ahead and have a lot of like success with Gear Raid 2 stage 24, even stage 23, but 24 is where you really notice it. I was going ahead and did Gear Raid 2 24 without an A1 Horus, without Ardea, and it was rough, right? Your units do die, and it's a little bit tricky, but he goes ahead and basically gives you some really good protection from that, and so it makes the run a substantial amount easier. And truth be told, with the addition of the stage 24 for Gear Raid 2, I really think potentially using a soulstone for him might be okay. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's at least somewhat passable. Now, Ingrid is 100% S tier. Now, I'm going to be very specific, right? When it comes to these awakenings, I don't want to mention them. So, when it comes to Soulstones, Ingrid A3 is probably the second best boost in overall power in the entire game when it comes to awakenings. I would strongly recommend, if you get 3 Soulstones in the A0 Ingrid, right? Put those 3 Soulstones into Ingrid and you'll have a substantial damage boost. She'll be probably one of the best, if not the best unit in the game overall for your account. However, if you have like 1 or 2 Soulstones and she's at A0, I would hold on until you get the 3rd, because Ingrid as a unit really becomes like devastatingly OP when she's A3. The A1, she gets the additional single target damage, which is nice, but it's not too significant. The A2, she's getting some damage bonus, but it's not crazy. The A3 is the one that you really want to go push for. Now, Yovar is also going to be in the S category, in my opinion, right? Now, the reason why he's in the S tier category is a little bit different. I'm mainly looking at Yovar as a BP unit, right? If you were interested in going ahead and using a Paul Soulstone to go ahead and get Yovar to A5, so you can go ahead and get that really good BP for Gilby Guild, it's passable. I will say using a Soulstone on him isn't the worst thing that you could do, depending on the rest of the units. Leia is going to be a C. Honestly speaking, Leia doesn't go ahead and give you any major boost in terms of utility that any other unit can't give you, right? The Somi's really good. You have Eloin that's really good. You have a lot of other units. Diao Chan is even really good. A lot of units go ahead and give you a lot of bang for your buck without you having to go ahead and invest a polished Soulstone into them. A1's nice, but once again, you got other units that give you a little bit more for a cheaper cost. Now, Morgan is going to be in that A tier. She has significantly skyrocketed in terms of guild v guild activity with just her overall strength due to the improvement in her bombs. And then secondly, she does a really good job of producing damage as a unit in general. She almost has the I like to call it the Soulbound Arcana effect, or like the Pradus effect. She's the first unit that went ahead and basically every time she ults, she gets stronger, right? Pradus does the exact same thing, but Morgan was the first one. So you want to go ahead, and if you have the ability, you would go ahead and pull for her, and maybe you get her A3. But if you want to go ahead and put a Soulstone into her to get that A3, it might be passable if you're going to go ahead and use her for like guild v guild. So that's the main thing. Nastia is also in that A tier category. She's really nice because her A1 goes ahead and gives you poison invulnerability. So if you're thinking like Titanic Ruins, Semra specifically, you basically nullify an entire stage, right? The poison stage, which for me is the worst one. I tend to always just struggle with it, but she basically eliminates that as a threat, and she also goes ahead and just as a unit does really good damage as you go ahead and get those awakenings up. But overall, if you're thinking about just putting every single awakening into her with those Soulstones, I wouldn't necessarily go ahead and do that, but getting her A1 if you're struggling with Titanic Ruins might be a game changer for you. Now, Pradus is 100% number one. Pradus is number one. It's not even close. Well, it is close, but here's the difference, right? So remember how I mentioned that Ingrid A3 is like the second best boost in the entire game? Pradus A1 is the biggest boost. Getting the additional rage regen is so pivotal for Pradus to be a really, really oppressive unit, because the more that he ults, the more damage he does, and we already know Pradus does damage, right? So if you can get him A1, that's more than fine. You don't need to go ahead and invest 20 Soulstones into him, hypothetically speaking, obviously, right? Into getting him A3, into getting him A5. A1 is good enough. That's all you need to really push for. Now, when it comes to Rygar is going to be in that B tier category. He is nice, but Rygar's awakenings aren't what make Rygar good. Rygar is a decent unit, a decent lord just in general. You don't need to dump Soulstones into him, especially when you have other units that are just even better overall in terms of strength and giving you a significant bang for your buck with those awakening Soulstones. Now, Sulcadin's A1. I'm going to put Sulcadin's A1 in the A tier category as well. I actually might go ahead and put him top of A, right? Because, hold on, here we go. If I can move it over, that'd be nice. There we go. So the reason why Sulcadin's A1 is so fantastic, Abyss. Period, point blank, Abyss 1, right? Sulcadin is probably the best lord, or arguably the second best lord. Nah, I'll say it. He's the best lord for Abyss, period, right? He goes ahead and enables all these really good units, like Phineas, like Hex, and things like this, but his A1 is the one that goes ahead and gives that damage vulnerability to the unit that he's ulting, which is already fantastic when you think, oh, that's buffing your melee units, your physical damage units, and that's buffing your magic damage units because they're also hitting the target, right? So he's basically Twin Fiend on steroids, especially with his A1. I would strongly recommend, if you're struggling with Abyss 1 and you have like an extra Soulstone and you don't necessarily want to go push Ingrid or Pradus, I would push Sulcadin. He would be my number one pick, honestly speaking, just for that A1. Torador is also going to be in that B category. Now, mind you, right, Torador is fantastic. I'll put him top of B. Let's go ahead and do this. If I can move this over. There we go. So Torador A5 is disgusting. If you had the ability to potentially go ahead and make him A5, I would consider it only if you're using like one Soulstone. I wouldn't go ahead and dump 5 into him to go ahead and get him A5 because he's just a normal legendary lord. He's not an ancient exclusive, but Torador A5 basically gives him a second revive, which gives him a substantial amount of tankiness overall. So it's worth a potential soulstone only if that one soulstone that you're using is going ahead and getting him A5. Twin Fiend. Twin Fiend is absolutely do not soulstone. I strongly don't recommend it, at least at this point, because you have a lot of other paths to getting 50k in Nightmare 4 that you didn't have before like a year ago, right? So before like maybe a year ago, it was okay to go ahead and use a soulstone to get him A1. However, going ahead and getting him A5 or A2 or A1 even with a soulstone isn't really worth it, because you have all these other units that are just so much better now at going ahead and giving you the ability to get that 50k Nightmare 4 run. Now, Valdron. Valdron is also going to be in the S tier category. I know I personally have 3 Soulstones in my Valdron, and the second I go ahead and get a reset book, I'm resetting my A5 Valdron, and I'm going straight to A4 Ingrid. Reason being is because Valdron is disgusting. His A1 is really, really good, and his A1 is what makes him usable in Arena. So truth be told, if you were to go ahead and get a Valdron and have a Soulstone, I would strongly consider doing a potential A1 and then leaving it at that. Because once you get him A1, he's pretty much online. And yes, you will lose to the A3 and the A5 Valdrons out there, but you will definitely go ahead and smack anybody that doesn't have an A1 Valdron. And you'll at least be able to fight back against those A2, A3s potentially. And the A5s, what can you do with A5, right? Venema. Venema is absolutely useless. I have her A6 now. Not happy about it. It should have been an A5 Pradus based on how many Venemas I have pulled during Pradus banners. Don't soulstone her. Honestly speaking, just don't do it. Like, if you pull a Venema, I'm so sorry. And I know you think her A5 is going to be good because it makes her hit 2 units. It really isn't that good. It's just not. Ymrit. Ymrit is also going to be in that. I'll put Ymrit as a C. Mind you, the reason why. Yeah, Ymrit will be a B. I think Ymrit's a B. However, it's like a dirty B. Like, I wouldn't exactly recommend going ahead and putting a polished soulstone into him, because he is just a unnameable, so you can use those unpolished on him. But if you're really just trying to go and push for that A3, or even just push for a quick A5 just by using one, it's okay, right? You can use it. You might not feel it too much because it's just one and you're getting an A5 Ymrit, which is disgusting, or A3 Ymrit, which is also disgusting, but you're going to regret it at the end of the day, like super long term, if you're going to have to reset book him just for one polished soulstone that you can go dump and maybe go get your A3 Ingrid, maybe go get your A5 Valdron, maybe get your A5 Pradus if you've just been super lucky, right? So it's okay, but I wouldn't necessarily recommend it unless you're getting that A5 now, or your A3. Cyrus. Cyrus is going to be in that B category. I don't think Cyrus's awakenings are really that valuable overall. It really just focuses on his skeletons, which are nice, and I've done a lot of testing with it on the test server. It's just not a game changer overall. Having the skeletons spawn up if he dies is nice, or having the skeletons be able to hit units is nice, but it's not like they're going to go ahead and act like an actual damage dealer. They'll just go ahead and give you some damage, so it's not really too worth it. Araka is also D. Araka is nice. I have an A2 or A3 Araka at this point. I have not pulled for Araka. I just keep getting her nowadays. She's nice, but honestly speaking, none of the overall normal legendary lords, excluding obviously Morrigan, is worth your polished soulstone. We have so many other units now that are into the game that are so much better. It's just not necessarily worth it. Anyways, that's the tier list. If you want to go screenshot this or whatever, or if you disagree with me for whatever reason, right, just go ahead and put it down in the comments and I'll probably respond. See ya.